Good morning, everybody. So, yesterday we did with Bassanio's speech where he says Antonio that Greciano, whatever he speaks, it hardly makes any sense. So, now Antonio, he is asking Bassanio, let's see what he is asking Bassanio. Well, tell me now, what lady is the same to whom you swore a secret pilgrimage that you today promise to tell me of? So, Bassanio, you had promised me that you will tell me the name of the lady whom you want to meet secretly. So, disclose it to me. Bassanio, it is not unknown to you, Antonio, how much I have disabled my estate by something showing a more swelling port than my faint means would grant continuance. So Bassanio, he is not replying to Antonio about the name of the lady, but he is rambling. He is saying something else which is connected to the lady. So what is he saying? He is saying that, you know, Antonio, that I have impetuously squandered all my finances. I have extravagantly spent and lost all my wealth by something showing a more swelling port than my faint means would grant continuance. So I have led an opulent life beyond my means, which I could not afford. Nor do I now make moan to be abridged from such a noble rate. So what he is saying now, that now I am not complaining that I am forced to leave this way of living. I am not concerned about that. But my chief care is to come fairly off from the great debts wherein my time something too prodigal have left me gagged. So he's saying, I'm concerned about the loan which I have to pay you. I'm an honorable man, I'm responsible, and I'm committed. So my commitment is to pay back your loan. So in my youthful days, I have recklessly spent all my money. Okay, so prodigal is I have spent my money in an extravagant way and hath left me gagged. So because of that reason, I have accumulated a lot of debt. To you, Antonio, I owe the most in money and in love. So Antonio, you love me a lot, you are affectionate towards me, and I owe to you both in love, in affection, and in gratitude. And from your love, I have a warranty to unburden all my plots and purposes, how to get clear of all the debt I owe. So he's saying that as I know that you love me, you are amicable towards me, then it becomes my responsibility that I should disclose to you, I should unfold to you all my plans, my schemes, my intentions and motives of repaying your loan, or what are my plans to pay back your loan. Antonio, I pray you, good Bassanio, let me know it. And if it stand as you yourself still do, within the eye of honor, be assured my purse, my person, my extremist means lie all unlocked to your occasions. So Antonio is saying, I pray thee, I implore to you, Bassanio, tell me about your plans. And if your plans, they are strategically compliant, they are effective, okay, they are as fair and honorable as you, then be assured, I assure you, my wealth, my influences, me myself, okay, my entire resources is open to your needs. Lie all unlocked to your occasions means, unlocked here means open to your needs. Now Bassanio, now he's explaining, okay, why he's trying to justify the reason why he need more money, okay, through these examples. Bassanio, in my school days, when I had lost one shaft, I shot his fellow of the same flight, the self same way, with more advised watch, to find the other fourth, and by adventuring both, I oft found both. So what is Bassanio saying? That in my school days, when I had shot one arrow and I had misplaced it, to retrieve that arrow, I shot another arrow. And that arrow was of the same length, same size, and it was shot in the same trajectory, same course. Okay, so why did I shoot the second arrow? So that I could retrieve the second and the first arrow both. So I risked both the arrow and I found both the arrows. I urge this childhood proof because what follows is pure innocence. So this worked in my childhood days, and what I am now going to speak is pure innocence. I owe you much, and like a willful youth, that which I owe is lost. So he is saying that I'm very honestly, I'm accepting that I have lost all my wealth. I have squandered away all my wealth. So whatever and what I owed to you, I have recklessly spent that. I don't have anything with me now. But if you please to shoot another arrow that self way, which you did shoot the first, I do not doubt, as I will watch the aim, or to find both, or bring you later hazard back again, and thankfully rest later for the first. So what he's saying, that if you trust me, please give me another loan, pay me another sum of money. If you pay me, okay, then like this second arrow which I shot, I will invest this money very cautiously, okay, very carefully. I will invest this money, and then I will watch where I have invested, okay, I will take note of it, I will see to it, and then in this way I will be able to pay your second loan, okay, I'll be able to pay your second loan and will remain indebted for the first one. Now Antonio, you know me well, and herein spend but time to wind about my love with circumstances. So Antonio, he is saying that you are very well acquainted with me. Don't fabricate these stories, these narratives, because my love is very simple towards you. Don't make it complicated. You need not justify your request for finances. Okay, I trust you, or I don't doubt you. And out of doubt, you do me now more wrong in making questions of my uttermost. So you don't doubt me, because when you're doubting me, then it is worst than you squandering all your money. Now then, if you had made waste of all I have, then do but say what to me what I should do. Then in your knowledge may be me by me be done, and I am preset unto it, therefore speak. So he's saying that I completely have faith on your judgment. So just tell me what has to be done and I will do it. I'll follow it. Bassanio. In Belmont is a lady richly left, and she is fair and fairer than that word. of wondrous virtue. So Bassanio is saying, now this is my plan. In Belmont, there is a maiden, there is an heiress who has inherited a large amount of money from a large amount of wealth from her dead father. And she is beautiful and she is very elegant. So not only she is beautiful, but she possesses many virtues. Like she is gracious, she is dignified, and she is witty. Now sometimes from her eyes I did receive fair speeches, messages. So I have received glances of affection from her. So she has a soft corner for me. Her name is Portia. The heiress of Belmont, her name is Portia. Nothing undervalued. To Cato's daughter, Brutus's Portia. So the lady Portia of Belmont, she is equivalent to Portia, Cato's daughter and Brutus's wife. Okay, and this Brutus's wife, she was very worthy and she was very renowned. In the same way, Portia is also dignified and she is known all around the world in the four directions for her worthiness, for her fairness. Now for the four winds blow from every coast renowned suitors. So the renowned suitors, they come from all the four directions to win her hand in marriage, to woo her. And her sunny locks hang on her temples like a golden fleece, which makes her seat of Belmont Colcho strand. And many Jasons come in quest of her, O my Antonio. So we'll see up till here. And many Jasons come in quest of her. So this lady who is so elegant and beautiful, she has flock of hair which dangles on her forehead like the golden fleece. So her flock of hair, it is compared to golden fleece. Now there is an allusion attached to this golden fleece. So a Greek allusion is attached to this golden fleece, that in the olden times there was a hero whose name was Jason. Jason with his companions, agronauts, he set out on a journey to retrieve the golden fleece. And this golden fleece, it was fastened to an oak tree by the ruler of that kingdom. Now Jason, he acquired the golden fleece with the help of his wife Medea. Now in the same way, the suitors, okay, like Jason, they flock at Belmont to win her hand in marriage. Whose hand? To win Portia's hand in marriage. So the Belmont, it has turned into the Colchis shore. Now, O my Antonio, had I but the means to hold a rival place with one of them. But I am very unfortunate. I don't have the resources to become a rival of the other suitors or the other adversaries. I have a mind presage me such thrift that I should questionless be fortunate. So I have an intuition, I have a sixth sense that if I go forward, okay, I will be successful in this deal. Antonio, thou knowest that all my fortunes are at sea. So Antonio, he is replying, he is saying that I have faith in you, I have doubt in you, and I could have shelled away money to you, but you know that my entire cargo, my entire wealth is lying at the sea. Neither I have money nor commodity to raise a present sum. So he is saying that I don't have any money and I don't have any resources that I can give it to you as loan. Therefore go forth, try what my credit can in Venice do. So you go and approach the money lenders in Venice. Okay, on my credibility, they'll be able to give you some money. That shall be racked even to the uttermost. And any quantity, any amount of money you can ask them. Okay, so how much you need to go to Belmont and meet Portia, you can ask them. They will give you the money on my credibility, on my goodwill. Now go presently inquire, and so will I, where money is. So I will also go and look for money for you. And I no question make to have it of my trust or my sake. So he is saying that I have very good credibility in the city of Venice. People, they respect me. I am very dignified. Okay, they respect me, they revere me, and as I have good reputation and goodwill, so somewhere I will receive the money and I will give it to you. So we have completed the scene 1. Now next time we'll start with the act 1 scene 2. Thank you.